Good afternoon. Welcome to the Apple Bowl. The Okanagan Sun taking on the visiting Langley Rams here on week 9 of the 10-week BCFC season. Of course, the Sun coming into this game trying to keep their unbeaten streak alive. Only one game they haven't won. That was the last time they played here at the Apple Bowl back on September 10th. That was a 31-31 tie with the Vancouver Island Raiders. For the Rams coming into this one, playoff implications. They've already clinched a playoff spot, but if they want to move up to that third spot from the 4th place where they occupy right now, they're going to have to beat the Sun here today, who are trying to come away with a win. Of course, if Okanagan wins, that will set them up for a thrilling season finale next week against the West Shore Rebels at West Shore to decide who gets first place in the BCFC conference. Football coming up next.
And gentlemen, we're just waiting for the clock to get down to 15. We're waiting for TV.
Yeah, we did our part. Like 15 on there. They didn't fix the block here.
Over the 40-yard line, the Sun became first and 10 at the 42. The quarterback over there on the Sun.
Down to 50 after a gain of 9. Third down, 100 yards to go. After we gain enough for Okanagan, first down, 2 2. big run for number 25, Robbie Rodriguez. He has 31 yards of the play. First and 10 in the ball spot at the 7-yard line.
Number 83, Nathaniel Anderson. He'll lose for the play. Will be second down and 14. The Langley Rams to take over when the ball is spotted. Okanagan Sun would like to thank JDS Energy and Mining for their support of the team, the scholarship program, as well as Aspire Gym, Richard Ford, Mr. Lou, Popeye Supplements, Big Steel Box, Macintosh Developments, Valley Dental, and Gord Sugar renovations. Also like to thank the Okanagan College men's basketball team who are selling 50-50 tickets today. First and 10.
Monty! Monty!
Intended for Agneletto goes incomplete, batted away by the Okanagan Sun. It'll be second and 10. against the Okanagan Sun.
Intercepted by number 18, Alfred Barrios. Okanagan Sun first down on the ball at the 54-yard line. That'll be a first down run, gain of 11 on the ball with the Rams 25-yard line. That's complete to Nathaniel Anderson. Gain of 13 versus 10. Mr. Robbie Rodriguez, big hole over the right side.
Going to be first and 10 ball at the Rams 14-yard line.
What? For a field goal. Say what? can't say no again.
Should get rough. Let's go line up. Lock on that off. Should get rough.
Well, I think it was a read, and we were in chase. But then the backer didn't stay because we were in smoke. Were we in chase? Yeah, I was going back. Yeah.
Blowers, brush cutters, and more.
First and 10 is 37. 50/50 tickets.
Number 27, Joe Carter, the ball carrier, stands up behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2, it'll be 2nd and 12. Batted away by Beck Fullerton. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Set of bounds, the Okanagan Sun will take over 1st and 10. The ball's being spotted at their own 10-yard line. Just a reminder, the concession stand open and available until the end of the game, located in the north end of the main grandstand. And also, if you want to check out the Shaw TV booth, sponsoring today's game, test out the Blue Sky TV you can talk to, and a draw for Okanagan Sun merchandise.
Brian! Hold on. Brown!
Robbie Rodriguez with that carry.
That's completely with John Salas. Bounds over the air line. Giving the 32, giving the 6 and the 4.
Number 25, Robbie Rodriguez. Right hand.
Team 18, the Sun first and 10, just showing out their own 50.
Rodriguez, another big hole down the middle. Okanagan 7-7, Langley Rams no score.
JDS Energy and Mining for their support of the team and the Sun Scholarship Program. And this is the sponsors of this one. 36, second and 4. First down marker. Third down. It's not like financial protecting your privacy is a priority. Some business information may be stored outside the plan. Personal information may be subject to laws of those jurisdictions. To view Sunlight Financial's privacy policy, visit their website, www.sunlight.ca, or obtain information about their privacy practices. Send a written request by email to privacyofficer@sunlight.com.
This one away. In the meantime, there is a Ram down on the field, so we'll take another quick break, come back to Kelowna, 7-0. Set for a third down punt here from the Rams. Injured Ram on the field was big offensive lineman Cody Cruz. He is able to stand up and walk off the field under his own power. So we'll await to see his return potentially into this football game. Now the punt here from Palmer gets that Away a nice kick there down to the Okanagan 30, and it's going to get past the returner, forcing him all the way back to about the 15-yard line. No yards flag rolls in as the return is brought up close to the 30. Looks like Curry it was, yeah. Penalty going to be a no yards flag as mentioned there. But the ball, it was a play where Curry lets the ball bounce in front of him. It takes a hop wide right past him, and he had to go back a few yards to pick that one up.
Yeah, it was one of those plays you really want to catch those in the air through the return because you never know the bounce you're going to get. And if the Rams kicker had decided to get on his horse and hustle down the field there, they might have been able to get a recovery of that. So it's blocked off the Rams' part. Sun are getting a holding.
Yeah, the ball just keeps moving further and further back into Sun territory. That's what it was. The Sun forcing them back to their own 14-yard line.
I think the illegal block was on the guy inside 5 yards too, which makes it a little bit aggravating.
So it's going to be Sun under the shotgun here. Wendman fakes the handoff, airs it out towards the sideline. Going there for, it was not Simon Eyes, I don't think, lined up the far side. That was Nate Anderson. Wendman trying to find him in that man coverage and just throws it a little far past number 83.
That was another great fake there by Wendman. I bought that for a second too. I thought it was a draw play. A little delay run.
Yeah, no kidding. That play that we've seen work a few times here so far today, always in the back of the Rams' mind and potentially only opening things up for a passing play. Didn't work to Anderson there. Second down, screen pass is too far in front.
That's super frustrating as a Sun player. Wendman's had a pretty good year all year, but his accuracy today seems to have been just a touch off.
Yeah.
A lot of missed opportunities, and in the CFL game, you only have those 2 downs to really make it those 10 yards, and if you miss on one of them, that's a quick way to punt.
That was Abdi, who was lined up as the back in that set, and
now running back out to do his special teams duties.
Yeah, on the punt team here. Of course, he just coming into the Sun fold about 2 weeks ago, so still getting familiar with all of his responsibilities. Is the Sun going to punt this one away on third down? Angling things back to the 50-yard line. London, the return here, going to work his way up to the 40 just before that. Looks like he got brought down there. So that London, the return, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams here in Okanagan, half of the field.
Yeah, the Rams are in great field position here to try to even this game up. Sun defense has to come up with a big play here sooner or later. Well, I guess another big play. They did have that interception earlier.
Yeah, big interception from Aldrich Berryhouse, who almost was very close to not being in the Sun lineup for this game.
It's also very close to going into the house on that interception.
Yeah, no kidding. Almost a pick six there. Peters, open backfield, airs this one out. That one is going to be caught at the 10-yard line, jogging it in for the touchdown. Khalid Johnson. Wondered when we were going to call his name. The leading receiver for the Rams pick up his first catch and first touchdown pass of the day. And it's looking like a tie game here for the Rams. Big pass there for Johnson.
Yeah, that was up against Berrios, who we were just mentioning, and I believe his interception was on that same matchup. Disappointing there. The quarterback let the ball hang, and I thought Berrios was going to be able to make a play on it. But instead of getting his eyes to his receiver and keeping his arms pumping, he kind of kept his eyes on up in the sky. And when you do that, you don't run with the same kind of urgency. You don't keep your arms pumping. And didn't quite close those last couple yards he needed to get that swat in. Wound up with a touchdown.
Yeah, for Johnson, 40 catches this year. That touchdown, his 6th on the season.
He was wide open there for a second. He could have easily caught it and wandered in without being touched. And Berrios came real close.
on the extra point kick.
More time counts in this game on kicks than I've maybe ever seen in my entire life. If we get one more, it might be like combined.
Well, well, it looked like there might have been confusion personnel-wise because Joe Carter was yelling at the sideline, trying to ask what was going on as the kick is up, and it is good. That was Wayne Palmer, the big lefty who came in for that kick and converts it here to tie this game up at 7. Take another quick break, come back to Kelowna. You're listening to Sun Football on AM 11. After a touchdown for the Sun to take the 7-0 lead in the first quarter, here with 10:38 left to go in the second, it's a throw and catch to Kalik Johnson, who is able to take it in for the score here and tie this game up at 7. Palmer with the boot, bit of a line drive, takes a bounce at the Sun 20-yard line. Can get picked up here and spinning away from one tackle is Richard on the return. Gets out past the 30, still on his feet. Flag is thrown on the sideline. And even some
pushing and shoving going on. And Ram player still down. Is that injured or just at the bottom of the pile?
Looks like he got up slowly after...
Another flag flies.
Whoa. That was Nathan Murray, who was down for a second there for Langley, but who's back up and at him here. But a bit of...
weirdly casual return. Once Richard finally picked it up and started running, not much urgency really by anyone on the field on either team, and then as soon as the play ended, a lot of urgency by both teams to get into a bit of a shoving match.
Number 52, Okanagan, 10 yards from. Objectionable conduct, number 10, Okanagan, 10 yards.
So an illegal block on the Sun, as well as an objectionable conduct penalty. That one thrown on Richard. For the Sun, the block in the back was Ryan Marquardt. And so that'll take things all the way inside the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 Sun from their own 13. Richard, you know he's a guy who's going to play with lots of emotion, but undisciplined there. Forcing the Sun back. They're going to pass here, first down. That one is short. Simonize, and we were talking just earlier about how Wedman just hasn't looked totally crisp with those passes, and there's one where Simonize is wide open, and he just throws it a little short of his receiver.
Yeah, it's a lot of his passes today have just been, touch short and low, and a touch behind his receivers. I'm not sure what it is, if there's anything bothering him in his mechanics or anything, or it's just an off day, but yeah, he's been missing with frequency today.
So going to bring up 2nd and 10 here. Rolling out to his right is Wenman to pass. That one, a diving catch near the first down mark.
That was a great throw and catch.
It sure was. Didn't see who laid out for it over on the far side there.
It looked like Anderson to me, but I did not catch a number.
Well, nonetheless here, I think that actually might have been Javen Cakeley on the reception. As we just get another look at it here. Not even tough to see there, but I think it was. And it was so close, like I say, to that first down marker that it is going to bring up a measurement here.
Sun better be careful on which personnel they decide to have on the field here. They got to have 20 guys on it.
No kidding.
Oh, no, that's the punt team coming back off.
Yeah, exactly, as they even thought that it might be short there, but just by about a half a football length, we saw the Sun gain a first down on that play. So nice, crisp 10-yard catch by Cakeley there, going to bring up 2nd and 10. Ball up to the 23-yard line. Under 10 minutes to play here. big jump off the D-line and brought down in the backfield is Rodriguez.
Wendman needs to start playing with his snap count, because me up from the booth could see that that linebacker knew when that ball was going to be snapped, and he was in the backfield before the offensive line was even out of their stance.
Yeah, no kidding. A great jump on that play, and Rodriguez with really nowhere to go.
I think that was Jace Harden, but I'm not 100% on that.
Fortunately, because Rodriguez was lined up beside the quarterback and not behind him, so they actually got up to the original line of scrimmage. When under pressure here, he's just got to throw it away. And another situation there where the defense getting a good jump. That was Isaiah Stewart, the linebacker, who was tracking down Wendman in a hurry.
Yeah, like, he just has to do a hard count or something. Change it up a little bit here on this next drive, or these defensive linemen and any blitzing linebackers are going to be living in the backfield for the rest of the day. At the moment, they have this, whatever the pattern is for the snaps, really dialed in.
And so for the Sun here, they're sending Wagner back to punt. We've seen him in situations where the ball is deep in Okanagan territory. That one he's going to send it out to the 50. Lund on the return here up to midfield. Dodges one tackle but gets brought down by the incoming Eli Haynes.
Eli Haynes is a missile up there as a tackler. It's just full sprint right into you. The breakdown happens at full speed.
And I mean, you know as well as anybody how tough that is to make a play when you're running at full speed like that and make a successful tackle like that.
It's honestly a straight up different mentality. Kids are taught forever, you have to break down to make a tackle, you have to break down to make a tackle. But the mentality you have to have is that you are a magnet to the ball. You have to accelerate those last couple yards.
1st and 10 here for Colby Peters. Out of the shotgun here. Going to pass this one over to the sideline. That one caught up near the 45. And making the initial catch, then getting out of bounds. Looked like just right outside of that 45-yard was Johnson for his second catch of the game. And so ball's going to be marked here at the 46. That's good enough for a Langley first down.
Yeah, football is it's a running game first, and whoever takes the most steps really wins. And if you're breaking down and you're stopping your feet, you're going to lose every time. You need every step that you take to take you a little bit closer to the football, and Eli's got that. He just knows how to do it. It's instinct.
Pardon me, ball on the 44, not the 46, and it's going to be a passing play here and a catch, sliding grab there. Up near the 45-yard line. It's a nice grab from Michael Beck. He's the fullback who will catch a pass or two for the Rams, but yeah, it looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage as Peters was under pressure pretty early there from the Sun.
Yeah, there was a design pull block there by their O-lineman coming across, trying to get the either blitzing backer or end. I'm not sure who that was coming off the edge there. And just couldn't quite make it there to seal the quarterback. I'd like to see the quarterback step up a little bit and help his blocker out, but big hit on him.
Peters on 2nd down with one back behind him. Back in motion now. Peters under pressure. A big hit thrown there. And falls incomplete on the pass, but boy, that was...
That'll be another good move for the Sun to try is the screen that the Rams are just trying to pull out. Put a little too much heat on that. You want to just kind of float the ball out there for your running back to run underneath and be able to catch. If you put any sort of muscle on it, then it'll just miss him and find the ground.
Big Mitch Lyons here throwing that hit on Peters, who was taking a couple big hits on this possession here in the last couple of plays, but 3rd down and 10 means Rams are going to punt this one away. Palmer steps into it and just got it off. Going to be caught up and bobbled for a second at the Okanagan 15-yard line, out across the 20 on the return. But that was Curry again there on the punt return. Got about 5 yards, as much as he really could on that one.
Yeah, not bad, especially after he bobbled it.
Yeah.
You just get upfield, get the yards you can, and don't keep possession is an important thing. And this game could easily come down to whoever makes the next big play, so possession, holding on to the football is going to be huge for the rest of this game.
Yeah, no kidding. This one is certainly becoming a defensive battle here. with Wenman out of the shotgun, one back behind him, gets the handoff. That, I believe it was Open Lola with the carry on that one. Or no, that was Abdi with his first rushing attempt of the game. He gets up to about the 20-yard line, close to the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, no such huge hole for him to run through on that play. And again, I wonder how much that has to do with snap counts and the defense just getting comfortable, if there's some sort of consistent pattern going on, or just staying on one the whole game.
Looks like an offside call went against the Sun there. And so they'll replay first down here, but it will move the sticks back to the 16-yard line. 1st and 15 now for the Sun.
I'd love to either see a draw or a screen for the Sun here. Try to get those hard blitzers coming up, slowing down a bit.
Lyman now, a bit of a delayed handoff, but it is there to Abdi, and he cuts out for a big gain across the 30. That's where he's tripped up.
That was that draw I just mentioned. That was awesome. Great play call. Great play call.
Mike Waldhausen down on the Sun sideline, offensive coordinator, with the call there. So the spot officially here at the 32-yard line for the Sun. Big gain there, a 16-yard run by Nazir, and there's a play action here again. Looked like it was, might have short hopped, but the pass is complete right now. Cutting out across the field is Anderson. He's up to the opposition 50, now the 40, and he's brought down right near the 35.
That was a great run by Anderson. Just using his players like pylons to kind of screen the defenders all the way down the field. I saw a couple of guys looking for big blocks to make, and nobody could really find any blocks to make, but they still made them anyway just by occupying space. That's how you have to, good runners can do that. They can make their blockers block without touching it.
Like I say, I thought that it was short hopped for a second when that throw made to Anderson, but he picked it up right as his shoelaces from his own 32 down to the opposition 37. Play action here. Wenman threw it in the dirt. That one in the feet of Nate Anderson.
I also thought that was one bouncer to Anderson on the far side, and he just put his hands down. It almost looked like he reached further than you were expecting him capable of reaching, and scooped that off the ground.
But we've talked about it on broadcast before. For a player, if it's close like that, you just got to sell it, and you just got to run with it. And there was no hesitation in Anderson. He just picked up the ball and took it downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever it's close, you have to tell the ref that you made it.
Wenman under the gun here, looking back to pass, try to pass off his fingertips over top the D-line, and it was swatted down.
Nick Westad on D-line there, big defensive tackle. That was that screen I was just hoping the Sun would run to try to slow this D-line down, and looked like one of them barely hit the brakes quick enough to get some air under his feet and get a hand on that ball.
So we're going to send Isaac Wagner out here. He will punt it away. With the ball in the 38, was wondering if we might see a kick, but...
That's disappointing. I love watching long field goals, but just too big play averse today.
He'll line up on the Rams 52. Flag comes out, and it's going to be blocked there by the Rams as it sputters out right at the 50-yard line.
Think they're going to call the Rams on jumping early, or...
Well, that's what we wonder.
Or are they saying too many men on the Sun?
Yeah, penalty was just signaled against the Sun. Joe Carter with the vicious block.
Too many men. That's the second or third time the Sun have had that problem today. Special teams really has to get their personnel sorted out.
And it was an interesting play. I mean, you'd have to go and look at it again, but it's Nazir who I saw, the last guy running on the field. Looked like he wasn't quite sure whether he was supposed to be out there or not. And so a bit of a miscommunication there. Yeah, first down and 10 from the 50 here for the Rams. Going to be handoff to Carter. Kent burst past the line, who's going to swallow him up and take him back inside the 50. Forward progress likely near that line of scrimmage.
Oh, and we have an injured Ram on the field.
We're right at the tail end of that play. Can't see who that is on his back out near the 50-yard line, but an injured Ram means we will take a quick break. So a break here on AM 1150.
Intended for J.J. Jackson. Third down and 10.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl. The Sun and the Langley Rams tied up at 7s here. We just saw a 2nd down and 10 play. The pass from Peters just throwing behind J.J. Jackson. And so it brings up 3rd down and 10 here. And a punt coming up here from Wayne Palmer. Line up at his own 35, steps up to about the 40. Nice high loft on that kick, takes a bounce of the Sun 25, forces them back to the 15-yard line. That's Curry on the return again, gets up near the 25. Close to a 10-yard return there from Kelton Curry. But once again, Sun going to force to start this drive deep in their own end of the field.
Yeah, that was a good little return by Curry, keeping his feet in bounds. Looked like he was going to try to reverse the field for a second, and I was hoping to see a big play out of him because we haven't seen a whole lot of him on offense today. The back by committee that we were really used to seeing out of the Sun team hasn't happened at all today. It's been all Rodriguez, and not that I mind, I like seeing Rodriguez play, but just wonder how fresh everyone else is feeling right now. Yeah, we saw Nazir take Abdi Nazir take the last couple of plays, but it's Rodriguez back out there. Wendman to pass. Fakes one way, now looks the other, has some room to run. Slides out across the 30. Sun have 2 penalties in this play, a hold and a block in the back. It was just totally unnecessary.
Yeah, the first flag came out behind Wendman. Looked like a hold, like you said, but with Wendman sliding in, I wondered if they were calling a late hit there, but the flag did come in after a Sun player laid a hit on a Ram who's down right now.
Unnecessary roughness, number 9. Awesome. 25-yard penalty.
25 yards and penalties in one play. That is not what you want to be seeing out of your team right now.
Well, I'm not sure the Sun even had 25 yards to go if you send them back. I think they're going to be positioned right outside of their goal line now. And there is, like we say, a Ram down on the field. So take another quick break here, come back to the Apple Bowl. Here to the Apple Bowl, so the first penalty on the Sun declined. The second, a major foul, is taken for a 15-yard penalty, so that'll force the Sun right back to about their own 15. And was that another penalty on the Sun?
No, we're getting a timeout here on the Sun. Trying to decide what they're going to do about this second. And I do not think they moved the ball back far enough.
Resembles for you to check out.
And the ball was on the 23, I thought. And that's why I said, when the call was made by the official initially, I said I don't think the Sun have 25 yards to move back. It was a 15-yard penalty out of the 23, and it's getting spotted at the 15-yard line right now.
I'm not sure how the math works in those penalties then. Like,
the kids on the far side of the outfield field, the bouncing castle.
Yeah, no kidding.
don't have a line to the ref, so can't ask him about it. So I guess we'll just let the ball sit where it is. But
it doesn't look like the Rams are really putting up too much of a fuss, so they seem to have gotten an explanation here. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Sun coming out of this timeout here. Nick Webman out of the shotgun has Rodriguez beside him, and he's dropping back to pass. This one fired up near the sideline for Simon Eyes, and it goes just over his head, but he draws a flag on that one.
I suspect it might be against him.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
It looked to me like he instigated the contact. So
because there wasn't a whole lot of contact that was initiated by Jordan Lund, the corner on that play.
Ref's just conferring for a moment. What's the call here?
Yeah, now he's pointing back. Now he's pointing back toward the Sun, so it looks like penalty against Okanagan here.
Offensive pass interference, number 1. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Yeah.
Offensive PI call against Simon Eyes there on a drive that really.
It was just penalties.
It was just penalties, completely dictated by those.
And that's the sort of thing that this Okanagan Sun offense, like, not that they've extremely struggled with penalties in particular, but just not being able to get anything going despite having lots of weapons and an O-line that can do their job. They just find ways to kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
And they're going to give a nice field position here, too, as back near his own goal line is Wagner. Flag off the snap, and Lund back near midfield to retrieve this punt. Gets up across the 50, brought down at the 48. That again, Jordan Lund on the return. Looks like he got about a 5-yard return out of that one. But flags, multiple flags.
I think this is going to be another penalty on the Sun for being too early, although they're calling the Sun players over, so maybe against Langley.
Yeah, it looked like somebody moved early because, like we say, the flags came out right as the ball was being snapped. 2:49, by the way, left to go here in the opening half of football.
And we're coming out to punt it again, it looks like.
Too many men. Defense. Taking a penalty. Kicking.
Wow, too many men on the Rams there. But because of penalties to the Sun, even that 10 yards didn't move them into a 1st down position.
Yeah, weird amount of penalties for too many men on the field today. Like, these teams need to get a chalkboard on the sidelines or something to get this sorted out, because this is somebody's gonna make a big play on a special teams unit, and it is gonna get called back on too many men, and people are gonna get very upset.
Looks like the referee was gonna make another announcement here.
Giving us our 3 minutes to the half.
Yeah, there we go. But I mean, it's a good point, as the Sun, who have had a highly touted, a good special teams unit for lots of this season. We've seen, like you say, lots of penalties so far today. Who's it going to cost at what point in this game is a big question. So Jordan Lund, once again on the return, he gets angled out at about the Sun 54. There was a flag back on the Sun half of the field.
Wow, there's a lot of laundry on the field today.
No kidding. For the Sun coming into this game, averaging a little over 13 penalties per game, 118.4 yards a game in penalties. And it feels like so holding penalty on the Rams here, and that will push the ball back into the Langley side of the field. Looks like the spot on Lund's return had him out just over midfield, and so we'll expect the ball to be spotted at about the Langley 45. But getting back to our point about penalties, 118.4 penalty yards a game for the Sun, and it feels like they'll be close to that in the first half of this game.
Yeah, at least 13 penalties. I'm not sure what the yardage totals are going to be in a draw here.
That handoff there to Nathan Lund, who's wrapped up rather quickly. Going to be a loss of a few for...
And we got flags on the play again.
Ben McCauley is waving this one off as if it's, going to be offside against the D there. He'll decline that penalty to take the loss. So Ryan McDonald there, another weird one where the offense is lining up offside there.
Yeah, it's I'd love to just see a clean drive here, just have some normal football without hearing from the ref for a few minutes, but lots of penalties right now.
So 2nd down and 15 here. Off that loss there, Peter's going to be back to pass here. He looks deep down the field, wide open is McDonald, who fell and could not bring in the catch.
Wow, that is exactly the play you want to run against this Sun cover 3. Is you got one man running down the sidelines to pull that corner right out to the sidelines, and one man running up the seam where far enough over that the safety thinks it should be the corner's job, and the corner has to choose who he's going to cover, leaving one man wide open deep down the field. The Sun got burnt by that in Chilliwack a couple of weeks ago a few times, and just drops it. Just drops the open pass there.
Kitzman was the closest tackler to him, but he was still about 3-4 yards away, and for...
I think that was definitely just the case of one of those, you have too much time to think about it.
Yeah. So Palmer back to punt this one away. Gonna send Simon Eyes back to his own 30. Fields it cleanly. Has to go wide around one tackler, now up through the middle of the field. Finds a hole. He's got lots of space up near the midfield. To the 50 now. Simon Eyes at the 40. Angled out at the 35-yard line. With Sean Simon Eyes with a monster return for the Sun.
That's exactly the sort of play I've been waiting to see from him, where you actually see that vision at work and that long athletic stride just clear the field 30, 40 yards at a time. That's a big play that we've been waiting for.
Well, it was interesting to watch in that one, too, because Simon Eyes sort of caught it over his head and then turned back to face the play at about the 30. And the closest defender's about 5 yards away, and you could sort of see them slowing down, going, here's a big guy, and we're not sure which way he's moving.
Yeah,
what does our first move need to be?
That was what I was talking about earlier, where Eli Haynes with those bullet, just torpedo tackles, doesn't have that slow down hesitation.
1st and 10, another option pitch to Rodriguez. He's got space. A hurdle across the 20-yard line. Still on his feet, brought down inside the 15. Robbie Rodriguez. Whoa.
That was a pretty run. That was awesome. You're often told as a young player, never leave your feet because bad things happen. You wind up landing on your head pretty often when you leave your feet. But when you're going against smaller tacklers who want to not deal with your size and they're going to cut your legs or your knees out from under you, those hurdles are real useful. And Robbie's been running great today and real strong and trying to lower the shoulder on some of these corners. And he just decided to go over them this time.
A great play by Rodriguez there. Brings a great reaction from the fans. There was a Ram down on the field for a moment. That was Dylan Cusker on the D-line, but he's since gotten up quickly and is headed off to the sideline. So 1st and 10 here for the Sun. Ball on the 14-yard line. Just a minute 45 is what the Okanagan offense is working with. Lots of time here to stick one into the end zone.
The other impressive thing about that kick return is, do you notice Simon Eyes just caught it with his hands? All hands, no body?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice tight spiral on that kick to let him do that. That's still an impressive catch with that much gravity pulling it down.
Wemman working out of the gun here in the one-back set. Another pitch to Rodriguez. That one is bobbled. He's able to pick it up, though, and outstretch himself towards the 5-yard line. Ooh, tense moments for the Sun offense there.
Yeah, that was those pitches. Anytime you have the ball leaving the quarterback's hand and in the air, you want to make those make it valuable time in the air, which is why you normally are doing longer passes.
So that run negated with the 10-yard hold against the Sun.
So like a toss sweep is inherently more risky than a stretch, that sort of thing. Right. So these option plays that they're running a lot, especially where you're expecting your quarterback to get hit as he's letting go of the ball, it's a risky play to be calling with this much frequency, especially when you already have one injured quarterback.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good point. Matthew Mahler dressed for today's game as the backup for the Sun. They're 1st and 20 from the 24-yard line. Wemmen, a quick pass into the slot. That pass is complete. Out across the 5-yard line is Anderson. He'll get down to about the 4, and that would be a first down if he got all the way there, and the chains are being waved. 1st and goal, a 20-yard catch for Nate Anderson.
That was a great catch and a great read by Wendman. The Rams have been really loving this blitz by their outside backer off the edge, which opens up a little hole in the zone behind him. And Wendman finally found that hole instead of just getting hit from the guy reading the snap count.
Going to be Wendman out of shotgun here. Rodriguez lined up behind him as the tailback will get the handoff. Works to the outside and was just impeded enough that another tackler of the Rams came through to bring down Robbie Rodriguez. That was Cameron Cross, who initially got his arms on him to slow him down.
That was a great play by the Rams defense there, getting into the backfield and wrapping up the running back before you're getting momentum going, because you don't need a whole lot of momentum go at this point to push him in a yard enough to just need the ball to break the plane. Sorry.
Out of the eye here is Wendman. Hands it off to the fullback. They're trying to push the line in across the goal line, and it looks like the Rams stuffed him there. The ball was set on the 2.
It almost looked to me like Wendman almost dropped that snap and barely got the handoff in before the fullback had passed him. Not sure if that had any impact on the sort of momentum he had going into the pile, but it did not look as smooth as it could have been.
Yeah, no kidding there. I think it was...
Oh, look for Richard to get this ball, and look for him to go over the pile.
3rd down here, ball on the 1. Out of the eye once again here. Wendman fumbles for a second, and it's not going to be enough to get in.
Fumbled the snap.
Wendman, who was on the ball and was going to keep it and just try to barrel his way through, looked like he started to move before he had complete control of that ball, and he bobbles the snap.
At least that's what it looked like from here. I didn't catch the replay. We'll see here on. Oh yeah, he just went, as soon as that ball was snapped, he was down on the ground picking it up again. Not sure where the transfer mistake's happening there, but it looked to me like that was 2 in a row that did not go off the game. Hopefully the Sun defense can get a tackle for a loss here, though, and force a safety, because this is prime position for the Sun D.
No kidding. Just 35 seconds left here in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 1 after that turnover on downs. Tough play for the Sun there. Peters, the QB keep. Looks like he'll just dive up for a couple of yards.
I'm not sure about that play call either. I guess they did get a yard or 2 out of it, but they moved the center of the line closer to the goalpost, and that goalpost gets in the way quite a bit. It's almost an extra defender back there,
right?
Because now it looks like they're slightly to their left of the posts, which means any sweep to the right or any rollout to the right that they want to do is going to be impeded, and we'll see how if that plays into this at all.
Yeah, it's a good point here, as it looked like the gain was only a yard on that one. Going to be 2nd and 9 here for the Rams. Trying to get better field position to avoid...
That's right, we only have 32 seconds left as well. So
yeah,
probably trying to get rid of this half.
So what do you call here for the Rams? Are you sticking the ball on the ground still?
Depends how many timeouts the Sun have. If they do have another timeout, then I'm thinking maybe a play action or something more exotic, but more than likely you'll just see a typical dive here and try to burn this clock out.
We're coming off a Langley timeout here. And so here they are, quarterback right under center, cuts to his left this time, and again, maybe a gain of about 1 here.
Not even risking the handoff, just letting it be a quarterback sneak, try to force the pile. I guess they're going to let the clock burn out.
Clock down to 28 here. Looks like they did at least get the ball up to the 5-yard line on forward progress there. So 3rd down and 6 to go here. And clock still ticking down. So a play where you might normally see teams give up the single here. They will be able to kick this one away.
I was wondering if they have enough time to run the clock right down to 0 and make this the last play of the half. In which, also going to be interesting if they even kick it out. Often teams will take the knee here for the field position battle, but there's no field position battle at the end of the half. So, see if they give up the points or risk kicking it out and risk the return.
Now it looks like we are going to get a timeout.
Yeah, think about it for a minute.
Here, Palmer was lined up in the end zone for the Rams to punt this one away. Clock now down to just 6 seconds before the timeout stopped the clock. So really, if you're the Rams here with just 6 seconds left, you just want to get a clean punt away and let the clock take care of itself at this point.
Yeah, get a clean punt away, pin it to the sidelines, and hope that there's a big return for the Sun. I'm a little surprised they're pulling Simon Eyes off here.
Yeah, they are. That's Keon Ashani, the returner who's lined up at about the 45-yard line.
It looks like he's doing some stretching, so that's never a good sign there. Suddenly thrust into a game you haven't been in a whole lot.
So nonetheless here, Palmer, who of course in his own end zone is lined up behind the goalpost. Gonna punt this one away here. Palmer steps into that one and he puts a little bit of a short one that lands at his own 30-yard line. Ashani up to pick it up. A flag is thrown, and he'll get brought down just inside the 35.
Find out if this flag is going to prevent the end of the half.
Well, yeah, if it's on the defense there, as the clock rolls down to 0, then the Sun would get one more play on offense, but
the Sun should really just go for the field goal here, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. Isaac Wegner is going to jog onto the field here.
That is a hugely costly error right there. That should have been the last play of the half, and instead the Sun are going to be able to have the chance to kick a very makeable field goal.
Costly error on two fronts. A, the penalty, but B, we've seen some good punts from Palmer today. That was not a good one, as it landed very short.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if I don't see any signs of wind out there, but it definitely looked like it just kind of hung in the air a little bit and came down way earlier than we've seen a lot of his boomers go.
So Wagner going to line this one up. It'll be a 32-yard kick.
Well within his range.
And the last play of the opening half here at the Apple Bowl. Isaac Wegner from 32 yards out. The kick is up, and it is through with lots of power. Isaac Wegner connects on his first field goal opportunity in the opening half. And like we say, a costly error there for the Rams will send the Sun into the locker room with the halftime lead sitting right now at 10-7. Take a big break, come back for some...
The Apple Bowl, if you are interested in tickets, the 17 Okanagan Sun Awards Banquet, that's coming up on Monday, October 16th, Great Hotel, stop by to see the tickets
And from an opening half of football that sees the Sun on top of the Rams by a 10-7 score. Come back for halftime right here on AM 1150.
You are the face of Canada's future. The dreamer and the gamer. The inventor and the builder. The collaborator and the explorer, who will use the power of your imagination and the magic of innovation to change the world. Start your journey of discovery. Visit innovation150.ca.
Imagine Imagine a world with less bullying and more self-esteem. When a child has a mentor, their emotional, social, and physical health can increase dramatically. And when we have happy, healthy young people in our communities, everyone benefits. Right now, there are thousands of children waiting for someone to believe in them. Donate or volunteer for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Imagine who they'll become because of you. Visit imagineBBBS.ca. Presented with the generous support of Manulife.
When I was born in Liberia, they said I'd never walk, talk, read, or write. But their words, I took as just another challenge. I pushed past every doubter, every excuse, every obstacle that stood in my way. Help the Rick Hansen Foundation make Canada accessible for all.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sunspots here at the Apple Bowl in the Sun Clubhouse. My name's Evan Cook. Pleased to be joined by the president of the Okanagan Sun, Les Weiss, here to talk a little bit of football and talk about this team that you've been involved with for some time. Wanted to kind of talk a little bit about your history being involved in football here in Kelowna. How did you first get involved with the Sun?
Well, my family and I moved here in 1983, and I had a young family at the time, and a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Nagy, who was a coach here for many years, had approached me about getting involved. And with my history of playing, I played at Simon Fraser back in the days with Louis Pisaglia and had some pretty successful teams there. And they were looking for coaches at that time, and he phoned me up and said, "Would you like to get involved and start coaching?" And I said, "Absolutely." And it's been, I think, 35 or 34 years since I've been with him, and it's been a great experience, and love being here.
Yeah, how has that kind of gone, starting out in the coaching ranks and then moving along and doing really just about everything with this team along the way? You've been, like you say, a former player, a former coach on really all sides of the ball, but how's that progression kind of gone with you tackling tons of stuff for this organization?
Well, a number of years ago, like I said, once the coaching thing kind of went along, and then a gentleman by the name of Dr. Barry Ness, who started the program back in 1981, he was gone for a while and then came back in '88 and took over as president for I think 2 or 3 years after that, and then he stepped aside, and I got out of the coaching and got on the board of directors, and it kind of ran from there. We had a small band of directors at the time, Royce Hetherington, who's been here almost as long as I have, and Bob Lindsay, who've been so instrumental in this program's growth. And I jumped on board with them and just took it from there. And then, I took over as a GM for 22 years. We had a very successful run there with Lawrence Nagy, and the team has always done well. There's been always community support, and I've enjoyed my time with the team, and it just basically started from there.
As you were GM with this team, talk about what it's like approaching players, getting players to come here to Kelowna to play. Have you seen that progression over the years of this program getting more widely known and more widely respected among players out there looking for a shot to play junior football?
Well, you know what, Evan? There's this program is very well known. I've run into a lot of professional players who I've talked to from all over North America, from the NFL, from CFL. As amateur football goes in this country, there's not a better place to play than the Okanagan Sun. Players who have played in the NFL have it, Danny Watkins, Mo Ellen Weeby, who's played there, Terrence Houston, Jermaine Haley, who are here, speak so highly of this program that it is a wonderful place to play for players who are taking a year off of college, who aren't ready to go to college, and it's a great program. It's a great place to play. Makes our job very, it's certainly you're recruiting against some great teams, in this conference and throughout the Western Canada. But, kids are always, when you talk about the Okanagan Sun and playing here, kids, will certainly give us a listen.
And you talked earlier about some of the names, some of the faces that were here back in the early 80s when you guys got this thing going. And does it surprise you sometimes to look around and see how many of those folks are still around with yourself today? Guys that a lot have been here close to day one, but they're still here and they're still giving to the program.
It's funny you should say that, because like when I talk about the Bob Lindsays and the Royce Hetheringtons who've been involved, who have, in the case like a Bob Lindsay was president here for many years, and now he's doing our 50-50. Once you get, it's almost like a hook, hey, and it's a camaraderie, hey, not just from the players, but from the board of directors and the people who are involved at every level. Terry Britton, one of our original trainers, is still here from 1981, who built the training room with his own hands. And those people have put their heart and soul into this organization, and you can't get rid of them, because it is a very special group of people who belong to this club, love being here. I mean, there's times when you want to pull your hair out, because it is a volunteer organization, and it's a tremendous amount of work to run this program. Those people are also valuable to this organization.
Speaking of the history too, I mean, the room we're sitting in has quite a lot of history. This clubhouse actually burned down and had to be kind of rebuilt from the bottom up. Talk a little bit about that history element, because there's a lot of it in this room we're sitting in right now.
Well, we've replaced a lot of the history with the names on the walls. I got a call, it's funny, I got a call one night about 3 in the morning from the fire department, said, hey, a little fire down here, do you want to come and check it out? And I said, was it that bad? And he said, yeah, you should probably come down and have a look. It was extensively just done, and we had to rebuild it. The city helped us out tremendously. We are a big part of this city. We've been here for a long time, and they recognize how valuable this organization is to it, and they threw in a lot of support for it. But as you look around, there is a lot of names here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who have passed, who haven't been able to re-sign the wall. But I think that there's whenever a player comes back here, they'll come up here and re-sign the wall.
Let's talk as well a little bit about where the program is at right now. In the BCFC in particular, there's been some good competition this year. Obviously, West Shore is right up there. VI Raiders have been right up there as well. But as this team looks forward in a potential playoff run, how does this team prepare for and go up against really big powerhouses out of that Prairie division as well? We all know about Saskatoon, and they came here and showed us the strength of that program last year, for example. How does this team go in and compete with really big programs like that?
Well, you know what, I mean, when you talk about the Hilltops, it's obviously a very storied tradition there. When you go to their new stadium there, it's always hard to measure up, because they have a big talent pool within the city of Saskatoon, but they also have an organization much like ourselves, that people are so proud of that organization, winning so many championships. And you look in our league, and I was saying last week, even after we played Kamloops, I know that their organization, Dino up there, who's the president of that club, has given it their heart and soul, and I honestly think that they're an up-and-coming team. And I think from a parity, we want parity. I mean, everybody in this league wants to win, and we'll all, give it our best effort. So you take it one step at a time. Our coaches, I think, have done, an incredible job. They have to prepare for, even Chilliwack, this year. I know that they've really struggled, but they've even given everybody, their hands full. So, you take it one game at a time. You hope you come out on top. I know that they give it their best effort. The coaches are here pretty much as we speak, here studying film, and you just go for it. You just take one game at a time, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Where do you see this program going in the future? What does the future of the Okanagan Sun look like here in Kelowna, and as well as it relates to the rest of this BC football conference?
Well, I mean, again, you know, I mean, since 1981, I don't even know how many years that is. I'd love to try that. 35 years.
36 now.
36 years now. You know, we want to always strive to be, you know, I think our big goal has been try to get more kids in school. We'd love to have as many players as we can in education. And again, I want to bring up their name, JDS Energy. Without Jeff Stibbert at JDS Energy, we wouldn't be where we are today. You know, the on-field stuff is great, but I think that we're here to help kids progress to next level, give them a place to play football, a good organization, help them with their education, or help them get to the next level, which would be university, or help them get onto the CFL or possibly NFL like some have. And I think that's where I see this team going. You know, I just want to keep building that scholarship fund, keep helping kids progress in life. To me, that to me is more than the wins and losses. That's the important thing, is make good kids, good citizens, good community leaders. That to me is very important.
Les Weiss is the president of the Okanagan Sun, and this has been a special edition of Sunspots. Thanks for watching.
You are the face of Canada's future. The dreamer and the gamer. The inventor and the builder. The collaborator and the explorer, who will use the power of your imagination and the magic of innovation to change the world. Start your journey of discovery. Visit innovation150.ca.
Imagine a world with less bullying and more self-esteem. When a child has a mentor, their emotional, social, and physical health can increase dramatically. And when we have happy, healthy young people in our communities, everyone benefits. Right now, there are thousands of children waiting for someone to believe in them. Donate or volunteer for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Imagine who they'll become because of you. Visit imaginebbs.ca. Presented with the generous support of Manulife.
When I was born in Liberia, they said I'd never walk, talk, read, or write. But their words, I took as just another challenge. I pushed past every doubter, every excuse, every obstacle that stood in my way. Help the Rick Hansen Foundation make Canada accessible for all.
Apple Bowl awaiting second half action between the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams. Of course, after the first half, it is the Sun with the 10-7 lead. Well, would like to kick off our second half here as we speak to viewers not only on AM 1150 but also Shaw TV doing the game live here. Apologies on our end for some technical issues in the first half, but we're back here ready to rock here for second half action. Evan Cook alongside Carson Park. Carson, we did have some stats to get through from that first half.
Yeah, just a couple things. The Sun are just crushing it in terms of yards here, with we're at least listed 135 yards on the ground, which is huge for them. That's well above their season pace, which is already pretty high pace. with a 12-yard run for a touchdown there by Wendman on that great fake that really was allowed to happen because of how effective they've been on the ground. And the Rams had a 41-yard touchdown pass, but really that's all they've really managed to get done in the air in this game.
Right.
Beyond that, they've been really limited. Something that didn't really occur to me during the game, just how limited they've been in the air. They've been fairly successful on the ground, but their offense has been pretty standard. Nothing to really write home about. Sun run game's been strong, and they're beating the Rams in the pass game too, 86-51. Anderson looks like he's going to have himself another huge game. He's got 4 catches for 69 so far. So expect him to hit 100 yards if he gets another couple of targets, which back-to-back weeks, that's big for the Sun. Quarterbacks, Wendman's under 50%, which, like we were saying, he's had a bit of issue with some of that accuracy. And on the other side, the Rams are really struggling with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only 2 for 10. So that's huge. And the penalties are really the story of the first half. 12 to 8 penalties in a half of football. That's far too many for both sides. So hopefully we'll see that calm down as the second half is about to start up here.
Sun had the ball kicked to them to start the game, so Isaac Wegner leading the kickoff here to start second half of action. Line drive, which bounces around the 30-yard line, now is going to bounce out of bounds at the Langley 25.
Looked like he was looking for that bit of a chip shot into the hole of the return team that the Sun would love to try to find this season. Just rolled out of bounds on him.
Saw the flag get thrown there. Didn't hear exactly what the call was on the field, but
just illegal kick out of bounds.
Right, of course, yeah. So that's why that line of scrimmage will get moved up here to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Rams. Decent field position, but you heard pregame their head coach Jeff Almolda talk about execution and being able to come away with big plays. As here's a run up the middle, still on his feet there. I believe that was Joe Carter, who took it all the way up across the 45.
Had he broken outside rather than inside, he might have been able to get on his horse and go off to the races there, but pretty sure he only broke back inside because he couldn't free his foot from those tacklers he just shed. So way to hold on there for the Sun.
And on the theme of execution, things that are fresh in my mind early on here for the Rams have just been unable to put up points off of Sun penalties, of which there have been a lot. Here's another rush up the middle, and that one towards midfield. Ball came out at the end. Sun think they've got it. It's Eli Haynes, and Eli Haynes hands the ball to the official. But it doesn't look like...
We have a man down, though, and he looks pretty hurt.
Now the call is made. Sun football. But you're right, a Ram is down on the field back behind the play.
I think that might have been Eli on the forced fumble, too. We're going to get another look at it here. Oh, no, that's Eli Haynes on the forced fumble as it's going down, and it lands on him, and he just recovers it. That was beautiful rip and strip.
Yeah, sure was. Haynes strips his man of the ball. Like I said, that was Joe Carter on the run there, who picked up a gain of about 5 the play before. And
Carter's had himself a great game, too, so that fumble is going to cost him, but he's had a great game up to that.
Well, and the point I was trying to make before there about execution, things that come to mind right away for the Rams, not taking advantage of all the Sun penalties, which has given them a lot of good field position on offense here so far today, and we've just seen the 1 touchdown to this point in the game.
Yeah, they're often when teams become one-dimensional, it's that they can't get the run game going, and they become dependent on just throwing the ball every play as they get behind in the game and they need to pass. And right now, the Rams, their run game's looking strong, and it's getting the yards that they need, and they're getting second and short pretty regularly, but their pass game it's going to cost them this game if they can't get some completions strung together and get a drive or two going and get some points on the board off of some of these penalties.
No kidding, and like you mentioned when you were running through the stats, I mean, 51 yards of offense through the air in that first half, but 41 of those yards came on 1 play. That was the Kalik Johnson touchdown pass. So you subtract that play, just 10 yards through the air in the first half.
And just something we were talking about a couple weeks ago with Chilliwack is they have a pretty strong defense, but they just can't get off the field and it wears them down. Right now the first downs are 12-4 for the Sun. So that's going to wear down this Rams defense if they cannot get off the field more frequently and get kept off the field by an offense that can put a drive together for a few minutes and give them a break.
Injured Ram was Cody Cruz, makes his way off the field, so now we're good to go. 1st and 10 on the Langley 54 for the Sun. Screen pass here to Anderson. He charges up toward the 50. He'll get brought down at close to the 51-yard line of the Rams there. Going to be a gain of about 3 for the Sun.
Yeah, that was
lining up 2nd and 7.
Kyle Claret trying real hard to rip the ball out there at the end, trying to get that back for the Rams, because this defense definitely needs a big play, get a turnover to spark this team back into this game before they're down 2 scores.
Ball spotted at the 52, so officially a gain of 2 on that catch for Anderson. 2nd and 8 for the Sun. Empty backfield, out of the gun here is Wendman, rolls to his left immediately, gets it away, a huge hit throw in 2, and it is going to fall incomplete. Javen Cakeley lined up in the slot over the far side, but Wendman took a big hit before he got that ball away.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the pass protection is supposed to be there, because they're just leaving the D-end a free run to chase Wendman down and hit him, and they're just trusting their play develops and he gets the ball off before he gets hit. I don't know, if that D-end gets a good jump, that's going to get broken up bad, and it's going to turn into a bad hit for Wendman in the back.
Another injured Ram is down on his knee out by the 40-yard line. And so that's going to take us to another little bit of a delay here.
That's going to keep happening with greater frequency if this defense can't get off and stay off the field for a few minutes. Because you just start to wear down, and when you start to wear down, you start to get hurt. Especially when the other team still feels fresh, and when you're on offense, there's something about when you know what the play is, you're always fresh, and you don't know what the play is, and you're reacting, it wears you down so much more. And the longer the Sun offense can be on the field, the better for the Sun offense and the worse for the Rams defense.
It's a great point about mental fatigue, though, isn't it? As a defense, you're always in guess mode.
And the momentum, and just the mental momentum aspect of the game, all of it. It all just builds on one another.
So we're set to go here. 3rd down and 8 for the Sun, so they'll punt it away. Wagner going to step into this one at his own 50, sending it to Lund, who waits at his own 15. Lund backtracks toward his own 10. He'll get brought down.
Lund just blew a hammy.
They look like Cody Thompson on the tackle there for the Sun, but you're right. Down in substantial pain now is Jordan Lund by the looks of it.
I wonder if this has to do with the field conditions, because we haven't had any more rain since the start of this game, but we did have it wasn't even that sustained of a downpour, but it could easily have soaked this field up pretty good for softening up the turf and making it a little bit slippery, so you get those little tweaks where you're not expecting them.
It really wasn't. As Lund gets up to his feet and is able to walk off, fortunately, here for the Rams. But you're right, it was maybe 10 minutes worth of rain right at the start, but we had a heavy downpour of rain. We had a little bit of hail mixed in at the field here, too. And so lots of reasons for that field to be a little bit slippery, and we've seen some players kind of bail a couple times before, and
the track in front of us is still pretty wet, so the sun hasn't gotten a chance to come out and dry the field off or anything either. So.
No kidding, as we get down to it. 1st and 10 here. That pass toward the sideline, just an arm up there from Nick Agnoletto, knocking it down. But it's
a little surprised we haven't seen a little bit more of him today. He had a couple jet sweeps early, and the one was really successful early on, and I can't remember a 3rd jet sweep out of him yet, which surprises me a little bit, considering you're 1 for 2 on big plays on that. I expect to sneak it in somewhere.
I was almost wondering on that last play, because the throw was just over Agnoletto, who's the slot receiver. The receiver out on the sideline cut in almost like a post route would be, and the ball wasn't there. Screen pass here on 2nd down, stumbling again. That up near about the 15-yard line to Nathan Lund. So he is not going to get enough for a 1st down. Going to be, here we go, 3rd down and about 3 yards to go here, and the Rams are going to punt this one away deep in their own end of the field.
Yeah, I didn't catch a number on who the blockers or tacklers were on that last play, but looked like a great developing screenplay, and both blockers just whiffed and kind of surprised the running back. Suddenly he has to make a move.
In here to boot this one away is Palmer. Takes a bounce at the 50. Going to get caught by Simonize at his own 50-yard line. Dips around one tackler. Still looking for a hole now. He finds one up near midfield.
And the ball's out.
Did the Sun?
And it looked like it was Eli Haynes diving on it. I think that was number 41 I saw. That guy is a ball hawk.
Yeah, it sure was. And Simonize goes right over to Haynes and says, "Thank you for having my back on that one." But yeah, you're right. Haynes following up Simonize as the blocker on that one, and he's in the right place at the right time again. Veterans tend to do that, get in the right place at the right time quite a bit.
Yeah, it's all about just, you have to, every breath that you take when you're on a football field, you need to be moving, and if you're on defense, or you need to be moving closer to the ball, and as a defensive player, he seems to just have a nose for it.
1st and 10, quarterback keep from the 44. Wenman on the option play there fakes the pitch out to Rodriguez and then kept it, but the Rams sniffed that one out and it'll go for a loss.
Yeah, I think he was a little worried about Nick Westad trying to jump that toss, because he kind of did a little fake there, did a little flare out, and thought he'd be able to build a little hole underneath of it, but kind of just ran into a full D-line of players.
Ball's been spotted kind of between the 45 and the 46-yard line, 2nd down and 11. Wenman out of the shotgun looking back to pass this one into the slot. Pass is complete. Out across the 40-yard line. Flag in the backfield, though.
I think we're going to get a holding penalty. Yep.
Hold against the Sun is going to probably... I wonder if it's just going to be declined here because... Okay, it's not. I just wondered because the Sun didn't get 1st down on that pass anyway.
Yeah, they're playing the field position battle at this point, especially with the struggles their offense has had. They need all the yards that they can get to get a little help for their field position. Although...
It's a 10-yard penalty. The ball was on the 45, so it should be right around midfield there.
This whole defense is offside right now. It's like, there's no way this is a 20-yard penalty.
Yeah, they just kept on marching there. But ball set, like I said, a yard before midfield here. 2nd and long for the Sun. We're just going to hand it off to Rodriguez here. Gets a hole, still with the ball, up to the 45, still on his feet, cuts out wide to the 40. Robbie Rodriguez is running towards the end zone of the 20 at the 10-yard line, dives out of bounds to the 5. Robbie Rodriguez with a monster run.
Oh, that was unreal. Every single yard on that run is all Robbie Rodriguez. He deserved to be tackled in the backfield.
He did.
That was unreal. Isaiah Stewart, the linebacker, number 29, read that snap count again and just wandered his way straight into the backfield and just couldn't quite get the tackle and couldn't quite wrap up Robbie. And Robbie with a couple changes of direction and a quick change of pace, and 25, 30 yards down the field he goes.
By my count, a 51-yard run sets up 1st and goal from the 5. Wenman is going to hand this one off and walks into the end zone. Another option play that Wenman keeps. He didn't catch me on the first one, but he got me to bite on that second one. Wenman with the option walks right into the end zone. The QB's 2nd touchdown run of the game, and the Sun put more points on the board.
That one worked so well. I'm pretty sure Robbie walked into the end zone untouched as well. Just the whole defense just didn't know who had the ball there. Kind of let them both go.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good point. Rodriguez was untouched too, as he went right up the middle, right underneath those goal posts. Wenman to the left of his running back was able to walk in fairly easily there too. So Wagner out to kick the extra point. That one is up, and that one is good. And that'll extend the Sun lead here to 17-7. 10:31 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a quick break from the Apple.
They're going to Camp and Field, serving the Central Okanagan for over 80 years.
Check the turn. Bounce left foot. Bounce your left foot.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna. The Okanagan Sun with a 17-7 lead over the Langley Rams here. Nick Wenman with a 5-yard run for the latest touchdown. That on top of a 16-yard TD run by the quarterback back in the first quarter. So Wagner going to kick this one away, angles it towards the sideline, caught at the 20-yard line, and tackled immediately. Out across.
That's Simonize out
that
there.
was Rashawn Simonize.
Beauty. I'm waiting to see him make a special teams play on defense because I see him out there all the time and he's got the wheels for it. There we go, making a great play, being the first one down the field. He's excited too.
He's pumped up heading off the field there for Simonize.
Free kick.
Oh no, and that's just going to get completely negated there. An offside call against the Sun.
All right, well, Simonize run down there and tackle him again because you need to go get that tackle stat.
It was Joel Clausen on the return there who got maybe 5 yards before a diving Simonize wrapped him up.
Especially those longer, taller receivers. You don't see those guys in the special teams units all that often, especially making tackles. And seeing a longer, tall, athletic guy like Simonize flying down the field, it's great to see.
Yeah, sure is. As we saw on the offensive side of the ball, him come in hot really a couple of weeks ago against the Valley Huskers in that game in Chilliwack. A couple of touchdowns in that game for Simonize, but it's been special teams with him tonight that's been getting the fans talking. Kick is down to the 30-yard line. Clausen once again on the return, picks it up, works his way up near the 40. That's where he's tripped up. So the offside call there works to the Rams' favor off the re-kick. They get about 10 yards more field position on that return from Clausen.
Kyle Claret over there on the far side, matching up to Simonize, not letting him fly down quite as untouched. Oh,
looks like a Ram. That's Khalif Johnson, who is hobbling kind of on one foot.
I don't know if it's a cramp or if he's got some sort of spasm.
Yeah, he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort here. But he'll jog out to be the receiver on the wide side here. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Looking back to pass here, we're going to change a quarterback as it's complete. Or no, it's not, up the middle. Ryan McDonald.
You need to squeeze those, man.
Yeah.
Well, that is Richard hitting him there deep in the secondary.
Tough hit, but what would have been good enough for a first down here. Off a catch from Ryan McDonald, who goes in incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for the Rams from their own 40. Mentioned a change of quarterback. That's Stephen Laguerre, who actually appeared as a quarterback last year for this Rams team. Colby Peters not out there. Laguerre under center, out of the shotgun here, looking back to pass once again. Under pressure, there's a pass up the middle. This time it's caught by McDonald and across the 40 down to the Sun. Ryan McDonald, 2nd time's the charm on that one.
There's that soft seam. That's really the Sun weak point, is that soft seam just outside the hash marks. And they get burnt again for another big play there, but their DBs need to communicate better and really close those windows sooner, because they're going to keep getting burnt there if they can't figure out how to close that door on teams.
35-yard catch for McDonald, who I think has been targeted a few times today, but I think that's his first completion to him.
And like the rest of the field, really, there's nowhere to throw it except that seam.
Laguerre going to hand this one off this time. Right on the far side, Ryan McDonald on the rush this time as he gets brought down at about the 30.
Khalif Johnson blocking 2 players out there. That was some impressive effort. That was awesome.
Yeah, sure was.
Blocking his corner, driving him off the ball, and then peeling back for the backside block. That was awesome. If every Langley Ram played that hard every play, this would be a different score right now.
Yeah, Johnson, a nice block there on Fullerton coming across. You see Ryan McDonald run from time to time. And kind of on those sweep routes where he's in motion is normally where he comes into the offense. But again, there about 5 yards, going to be 2nd down here. Back to passes, Laguerre over the far side, complete to Agnoletto. He's tackled immediately, but it is going to be good enough for a first down. And that'll move the chains here for the Rams, who are getting deeper into Sun territory.
this is something we did not see any of in the first half, is a sustained Rams drive by a couple completions.
Yeah, exactly. Laguerre into this game, and of course the one big 35-yard reception of McDonald, but he's just tried some shorter types of passes, not trying to extend the field. As a handoff here to Nathan Lund, cuts to the outside past one tackle, still on his feet, reaching towards the goal line, and he'll get knocked out of bounds. Looks like at about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was seemed like Lund knew as soon as that ball was snapped, he was going to be going 100% full sprint, because he almost got by the quarterback before he took the handoff, and then really raced to the corner quicker than anyone was expecting him to, I think. The contain really lost it there.
Yeah, Nathan Lund with a big game there. Going to be first and goal. Looks like ball is being spotted at the 4. Fullback Michael Beck jogs onto the field. It looks like Laguerre was wondering what the formation would be, still out of the shotgun here. Going to hand this one off to Lund. Tries to bowl his way towards the end zone. He'll be brought down short. Either right back at the line of scrimmage or maybe a slight gain on this one. But it brings up second down for the Rams.
Yeah, interesting to see what their options are here, because their run game has really been either tackled in the backfield or 5 to 10 yards. So a 3-yard run, that's we'll see how that works. The Sun's going to stack the box and try to get into the backfield here, and they just haven't had the sort of completions that you'd want to rely on putting the ball in the air at this point of the field.
Laguerre in a 2 running back set right now. Going to hand this one off. Spin move there from Lund, but he's still got nowhere to go. Racked up by the Sun, bringing up third down here. Okay, an interesting call here for the Rams, down by 10 points. I mean, you still need the field goal to tie, but are you going for it here?
I think they're kicking the field goal. Yeah, we got big number 39 jogging out onto the field. Just, you want to close it to that one-play game, that one-score game. If it was a one-score game right now, I would definitely be going for it, especially where we are in the game. But that 10 points, you need to close it to 7.
This is Wayne Palmer out for a field goal attempt from 10 yards away. That kick is up, and it is well good. So Palmer connects, and like you say, it's back to a one-score game with the Sun being cut to 17 to 10. 5:42 remaining here in the third quarter. Take a quick break, come back on the other side. This is Okanagan. Just 30 is good, thanks. Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. The Okanagan Sun lead cut now to 17 to 10 after a 10-yard field goal on that last play from Wayne Palmer. So the Rams set to kick this one off from their 45. After long stretches there in that first half without points in the last 2 series for either team. Sun going to return this one from their own 10-yard line. That's Connor Richard with speed under the 20, now the 30. Still on his feet, cuts to the outside. Follow misses the tackle. The kicker, as he's still on his feet, out to the 30-yard line. Here's Richard. Richard takes a look behind him, and he's going to waltz all the way into the end zone. Touchdown to flags on the field. So this one might be coming back.
That was exactly what I was hoping to see with Richard getting the ball in his hands. He's just too strong of a runner, and he actually has the wheels to go with that strength, and not a whole lot you can do against that when you're trying to tackle it to the ground. But it looks like we're going to get a penalty on this play, pulling the ball all the way back, which is going to be a little disappointing for Connor. I'm sure he was excited about getting his first house call on a kickoff. Looks rather tired out there too.
Yeah, and an illegal block penalty called there on the Sun. I mean, kind of appropriate with the way things have gone so far for Okanagan today, where a big play called back on penalties, which have just really bit them so far today.
Yeah, that was predicted earlier, wasn't it? The big play is going to get called back on a penalty because just the way the game's been going. Both these teams really struggling to keep their infractions away from the eyes of the ref.
As your stats told us there in that first half, I believe 12 penalty calls on the Sun for 100 yards worth of them, and that, like we were talking about, that's pretty close to what the Sun average over the course of a game, which is 13 penalties for 118 yards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the penalty stat looks like on that last play. That's like a 100-yard penalty right there.
Yeah, no kidding. So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Sun. They're going to hand off over to the outside, taking things up to the line of scrimmage there, which is at the 20-yard line. Robbie Rodriguez on the carry. Looks like he will gain a yard on that one. 2nd and 9 will be coming up.
That is one thing that I've been waiting for over the course of the season, is for the Sun to give somebody a chance to really take over the game at running back, with how skilled their running back crew is. That's 5 guys who could take over a game, and really haven't given anyone a shot yet to, except for this game.
Rolling out to his right is Renman, fakes one pass, keeps going, pointing upfield, wants a block or two as he slides out near the 30-yard line. That looks close, but maybe just shy of a first down. I'd imagine we'll get a measurement on this one.
And just, they're marking him a couple yards short.
Okay, they're saying he didn't quite get up to the 30-yard line where he initiated that slide. Going to be a couple yards short of a first down.
Yeah, just going back to Robbie for a second, on that last play, great cup block on the backside rush, which is the rush that's been really getting to Wendman as he's been letting go of the ball and punishing him more than I think I'd like to see my quarterback punished. Well, we have a man taking a knee here.
Yeah, whistle comes in for the Rams. That's Cameron Cross, big linebacker for them. Cameron Cross out of Vernon, who we've seen some big hits laid by him earlier today, and he's able to get up and jog off to the sideline rather quickly here. Rene Sensio in to replace him at the linebacker position. 4:04 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Sun prepping to punt this one away. It's Wegner back there to let this kick go. That one, nice one, end over end to Langley 45. Missing one tackle in the backfield. There is Lund, turns away from one as he's getting tackled to the ground. He actually never got to the ground on that tackle.
Yeah, I don't know about that whistle. I would like to see that play out a little longer.
That was Cole Strager, who had all kinds of hands all over the big back Nathan Lund on that return. But like I say, maybe a little bit of a quick whistle brings us to a 1st and 10 for the Rams. They're
not the friendliest spot either.
Yeah, that's true.
I was pretty sure he got over that line, but not before the whistle, apparently.
Yeah, calling forward progress there for the 44-yard line is where we're 1st and 10. Here's a pitch to the outside. This one to Lund. He's up towards the 50 out across. Looks like he will see this ball get spotted at 53-yard line. That's going to be a yard short of a first down. Nice 9-yard rush for Nathan Lund there, with the Rams kind of giving the Sun a bit of a dose of their own medicine there on that pitch.
Yeah, the quick pitch is that slightly more dangerous run with having the ball in the air for a second. Those are always more dangerous than just quick handoff, but it does let you get outside into the sidelines a lot faster.
Yeah, we even saw the one earlier where a bit of a ball by the Sun is right off the handoff. The Sun wrapped up Joe Carter. I was just about to mention that we haven't seen his name called so far in the second half. Joe Carter had some nice runs earlier in the game, but a good read by the Sun D, who were all over the timing on that snap and wrapped him up near the line.
Yeah, that was Cody Thompson there, meeting him at the handoff almost. And a little surprised I haven't been saying his name as much lately, but Eli Haynes has just been taking up too much room in that middle with Connor moving over to half.
Yeah, Thompson, one of those guys that Ben McCauley mentioned that he's going to have to set things up with Sean Robinson out of the lineup as a huge punt going to send the Sun all the way back towards near their own goal line. Picking it up near there is Curry, who dodges a couple of tackles up to the 20, and that's where he'll get brought down. A late flag comes in at the end of that play.
The Sun got really lucky he did not get a roughing the kicker. I almost missed the start of that return just staring at the refs waiting for a flag to come out.
Right.
I'm not really sure why there wasn't one that came out. Let's see what this flag is on the other end of the play.
Yeah, no kidding. Palmer was a nice big kick, too, as he sent Curry back over his head to pick it up inside the 5-yard line. Based on where the Sun are jogging back to, looked like the penalty might have been on them, but
an illegal block right off the start. I figured it was either going to be an illegal block or the no yards, but those are occasionally difficult to tell because just the way the plays develop on punts, often there will be an illegal block that forces someone into the 5 yards. And if you don't notice the illegal block, it looks like somebody's just like, why is he a yard away?
Well, just the timing of the flag was what confused me because it came right in at the end of that, whereas normally you'll see that no yards flag right at the start of the return. And based on when they're spotting the ball, it looks like
Number 44, receiving half the distance to the goal line. It's up unnecessary roughness. Number 8, on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So I guess those penalties essentially offset because the ball was spotted at the 19, which is kind of where Curry got to on that return.
Effectively they do, but I think Curry loses out on all those yards, unfortunately.
Right. So 1st and 10 here from the Sun 19. Handoff to Rodriguez. Catches another hole. Now up to the middle of the field. Tries a hurdle.
Robbie Rodriguez the hurdle at about 35.
But some airtime there for Robbie Rodriguez.
Very much so. He's been lowering the shoulder on that safety all day, and I think he thought that he was going to get his legs cut out from under him, and safety just stood up and said, no, not today.
That's Nathan Murray in the Rams secondary, who has become familiar with the bottom of Rodriguez's shoes here today, as he's now tried that a couple of times. The first, a clean hurdle, 2 back in the first half.
Robbie's vision is just phenomenal. Like, these holes aren't huge, and he has to kind of wiggle to find them, but this O-line's making them, and he's finding them.
Wendland gives it off to him once again here, cuts up the middle across the 40-yard line. After a 11-yard run from Rodriguez the last time, he'll gain about 5 this time. But unfortunately for the Rams, it seems like the injury bug's really been biting them today. Another Ram down on the field.
Yeah, there's just something really pretty about that last run. I know it wasn't very long, but that subtle hesitation he had in the backfield to just kind of open that hole up. I think I mentioned earlier in the season trying to compare the running backs to their NFL counterparts in terms of styles.
Yeah.
Very Le'Veon Bell, patience-esque, where just a little hesitation and just wait for somebody else to move themselves out of your way instead of trying to convince them to do it.
Yeah, for Rodriguez, he's been fun to watch here so far this afternoon, and had that 50-plus yard carry earlier in the quarter that almost went for a big score.
I'm sure. I have to go check the stats here if we're on a break again. I'm sure Robbie's got to be closing in on 200. He's been the feature back today, which is something we haven't seen the Sun roll with a lot this season. And at halftime, they were at 130, and they have a 50-yard run in this half by Robbie, so he's got to be closing in.
Yeah, no kidding. As looked like the injured Ram was D lineman Adam Marchetti, so he's up and walking off the field now. Brings up a 2nd down and 4 yards to go here for the Sun from their own 41. Hand off here to Abdi. He rolls up across the 45. That should be good enough for a first down. Forward progress has him up around the 46-47.
I'm not sure about that whistle either. I get it because you have almost every player on the field in on that scrum, but he's still pushing. I think the pile's still going in the right direction. And I'd just like to see if the pile can fall away and if he'll be the last one standing. Those exciting sort of power plays are what makes Marshawn Lynch and most football games so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Plays like that where it looks like the play's slowing down, then all of a sudden they just break the pile and just go. Back in motion here for the Sun on first down. Wedman to pass, drops back, fires it up the side. Anderson trying to lay out and come up with a catch. He was in tough coverage with Kieran Benedito, and that'll bring up second down for the Sun here.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite get the release on the defensive back there on the little hand fight on the outside. But that's one of the more subtle parts of football, but probably one of my favorite parts is the wide receiver DB hand fighting. As they run down the field beside each other, whoever kind of, it almost looks like they'll be holding hands and trying to fight over whose hand is on top of the other person, and whoever's hand is on top has the advantage position. And just those little fights, and that's how guys get that last yard or two of space at the end of their route just as the ball arrives, is getting that dominant hand position and separating themselves. And defensive backs, they're fighting to not allow that to happen. It's the whole game of football is just 10 different little martial arts battles going on at once, and it's great.
In all that excitement, too, the clock ran down for the third quarter, so the teams flip sides of the field here. Fourth quarter now underway. Sun with a 17-10 lead. They're second and 10 from their own 46. Rick Wedman working out of the shotgun here to pass. This one a screen over the top to Rodriguez. He's got space too to work with as he cuts in across the 45, dodges one tackle, still on his feet at the 30-yard line, trying to get away from a tackler who's trying to strip the ball out of his grasp. He will get tackled at the 30-yard line. Kyle Claret was trying to rip it away from Rodriguez, who has another huge game.
I'd be willing to bet money that Kyle Claret wears number 21 because of Charles Woodson. Because he loves going for those strips, and that's just a classic Woodson sort of move. Oh, I see you're not holding the ball tight enough. I'll take that, thank you.
And after all that, an offensive hold will negate the game.
That's too bad. I was sort of hoping that would be a roughing the passer with the screenplay. Those are a little more common because the rusher gets a little too excited about being in the quarterback's face. Hold brings that big play back.
Yikes, as that is going to bring up second and 20 now, all the way back into 36. It would have been a 45-yard reception or thereabouts for Rodriguez. Brought back here, second and long. Lennon with the stutter. There's a handoff to Abdi. He'll cut out across the 40-yard line. Gets up near the original line of scrimmage at the 46, where that's about as far as Abdi can run that ball, and that'll bring up third down here for the Sun.
Really liking these draw calls by the Sun. They've been pretty effective too. That one didn't quite get as many yards as they needed it to, but earlier on in the game they had that long 15 or 20-yard run from a draw, and for whatever reason the Rams aren't seeing those coming yet, but especially on those second and longs, they should be more obvious. Sun sell them very well though. If you watch, I'm sure nobody's going to do this, but if you watch film on the Sun versus the Rams draws, the Sun draw just looks more convincing as a pass.
No kidding, as the Sun back to punt this. Wagner end over end out near the 25-yard line. It's Lund back on the return. Nathan Lund out across the 40. Almost looked like he dropped the ball, but officials right near there saying that if he did, he at least kept possession. So still going to be Rams football here. Up near the 40 was the return from Nathan Lund. Going to be spotted at about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get the swarm tackles in, is the ball pops out. The second, third contact, if it hits the arm that's carrying the ball or the ball itself, it pops out with some decent regularity. Sun swarming defense is great at that. This Rams defense not quite as swarming. They got that one Kyle Claret who loves going for the ball, but if he doesn't have another guy already securing the tackle or coming in to pop the ball loose, then it just doesn't come, doesn't happen.
First and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Remember, new quarterback Stephen Laguerre back to pass here. Under pressure, gets the ball away, and it's going to be caught out near midfield. A nice catch.
That was a beautiful throwing catch. Threw it in the perfect window. He has a torso in his chest and in his back as the ball's getting released, and puts it to the perfect spot where only his receiver can catch it while he's being tackled by 2 or 3 guys. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, Nick Agnoletto, who's basically in double coverage at that point, is going to get another look here. Laguerre Airs it out nicely, and yeah, right between two defenders. One on his back, one right in front of him. Good catch there from Anuletto. It's going to be 1st and 10 here, just across midfield. There's a pitch and catch to Khalid Johnson. He's going to get wrapped up right around the 50-yard line.
That was a great catch there, but couldn't really turn it into anything.
Yeah, just wanted to get by that first tackler, and if he had Johnson with the speed and the range, that he could have picked up a big gain there. But a good tackle by the Sun, stopping him on a 3-yard gain there. It'll be 2nd and 7. Ball on the Okanagan 50. 11.5 minutes left to play here in this 4th quarter. Rams looking for a score that would tie this game. Adair back to pass with more time up the middle and right through the hands of his receiver there. That was McDonald too. McDonald earlier in the game had that tough play where he was backtracking on a ball and allowed it to drop. That time he knew the hit was coming and it just goes right between his hands.
Yeah, he's had some very, very frustrating drops today. Two where he was wide open and just had it hit his hands. There he really should have brought that in for the catch and the 1st down. I know the hit was coming, but the ball made it there before the guy did, and had he even secured that and done a quick roll, he might have been able to avoid the tackle even.
Yeah, McDonald is kind of like the utility man for this team. Passes, rushes, has the kick. Going to send Richard back inside his own 15-yard line. No yards flag comes down at the beginning of that run. He'll take it up to about the 28-yard line. And we'll have a 1st down for the Sun. Likely, if it's a no yards penalty, likely up close to the 35.
Yeah, it should be a no yards, I think.
Officials in consultation at this point. They're right here. And it looks like we're not going to get a foul here.
Number 15 on the kicking team. Number 5 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So 15-yard penalty was called on the Rams, but the ball is still right out near that 30-yard line. Okay, 1st down and 10 here for the Sun. Wendman out of the gun, fires to the sideline. That pass is complete to Simon Eyes. He'll get up close to the 40. Looked like he gained about 8 yards or so on that catch.
Yeah, I like that attempt to try to roll out of that contact and get as many yards as he can out of that play. It took a little 4-yard hitch, turns into an 8-yard play, and the 2nd down gives you a lot of options.
Sure does here for the Sun, just trying to spot personnel out there. Okay, yeah, it is Robbie Rodriguez, who, like you say, a featured back here for the Sun, who often use a rotating cast. But it's been him with some huge gains today. The latest one negated a penalty, of course, but he's been effective, that's for sure. Back to block here. The pass, that one is going to fall short. That was Tyson Mastrodimos lined up in the slot right at the 45-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down here for the Sun.
With some of Wendman's accuracy issues he's been having today, especially on some of these shorter timing routes, I'm not sure I like that call. I would have liked to see a bit of a run, just get that 1st down and keep this drive going. Get a little cute with the pass, and now we're punting it away.
Yeah, 3rd down and 2 here on the 38.
Especially when you're running it as effectively as they have been running it.
Yeah, it's a fair point, and like you mentioned, on some of the longer throws from Wendman today, he's looked fine, but it's just been those shorter routes that we've seen the ball fall in short a couple of times. But going to send one back near his own 30, gets up across the 35, then takes a big hit there. Back forward to the tackle on that one. So it'll be the Rams in their 38-yard line to start this offensive sequence. As we talk about the Sun running game, a player who has yet to get into action just because of some injuries on his side of the ball. here so far this season is Tanner Sudo, and he's a guy who Ben McCauley is really high on. McCauley says he could be one of the best backs in the league, let alone on our team, but just some injuries have forced him out of the lineup so far this year. There's a completion over the far side, Kalik Johnson. For Sudo, he's actually played for Team Canada football before. He ended up dropping a weight on his foot in training camp, a bit of a freak accident to break his foot, and then as he was just getting ready to come back in the lineup a couple of weeks ago, he had another break in that foot in a completely different area. Just a couple of really freak injuries. Tough to see for Tanner Sudo because, like I say, his coach is really high on what he could do when he gets in the lineup. Pitch outside to Lund here. He'll hit the 45, look toward the 50, stayed in bounds till about the 50-yard line, and that's where he pops out. Nice stutter step there for Nathan Lund. The patience works out for a first down here for the Rams.
Yeah, that was a great run. Looked like he wanted to keep himself in bounds and try to fight for a couple more yards, but just that last little pop to the legs gave him a little too much momentum to really let bounce.
And a good read, too, knowing where he was on the field, knowing that he was right in that first down vicinity. And so going to be ball on the 51-yard line. Rams still just inside their own half of the field. Two backs to the right of Laguerre. He's going to pass this one, though, as he gets crunched. This one, ball up, and it's going to be caught out by the 20-yard line. Looks like it was Berrios there in the secondary for the Sun. He's had an interception here this afternoon, but he was playing ball, not man there, and it ends up becoming a completion for Langley.
Yeah, the ball got hung up in the sky for a bit, and Johnson had to make a great adjustment to kind of come back to it. And Berrios just couldn't recover quick enough and get back to a dominant position and got boxed out in the jump ball. It's a great play there by Johnson.
It sure is. Kalik Johnson, a big body to cover, 6'3", 195. Third-year receiver out of Vancouver.
I'm really impressed by that throw more than anything.
Yeah, as he was getting hit, that was Laguerre who drops back to pass once again. Pump fake now keeps it. Up the middle of the field, he's got some space brought down from behind at about the 10-yard line. Stephen Laguerre, enough of a run to move the chains there. Looks like an 11-yard rush from number 11. And that'll take...
The Sun are in some serious danger of tying this football game again. It just feels like the Sun have dominated this game, and on the stat sheet it really looks like they probably have. But like that last second down, second and short, and they don't convert, so they have to punt it, giving Langley a shorter field. And now they're right at the verge of scoring a touchdown here, and then it's a tie game again late in this game, and the Sun offense can't get a roll and get some points back on the board, something they've only done 3 times so far. They're staring a tie game in the face again. That's not something they can be doing this frequently going into the playoffs, especially if they want to see themselves as a top team in this country. They can't be playing these tight games against the lower playoff seeds in their own division.
As Laguerre's rush is measured out to be good enough for the first down. Yeah, I thought when the Sun went up 17-7 here early in the half, I thought that's the moment where earlier in the season we saw the Sun start to pull away, gain that momentum. But after that score, they just haven't been able to do that today, like you say. And now after a field goal, the Rams are dangerously close to tying this game. Ball spotted on the 11-yard line here, and it looks like it's the Rams who have now called a quick timeout. 7:12 left to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break. Come right back to the Apple Bowl where the Sun are on top 17-10. You're listening to Open. Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook alongside Carson Park with the Sun up 17-10, 7 minutes 12 seconds left to go here in a fourth quarter that sees Langley Rams a 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. Laguerre working out of the shotgun with 2 backs beside him. He's going to pass it on again, working towards the corner, and that was picked off in the end zone.
Well, there's that big play from the Sun to really, that Sun D needed a turnover to get this offense back on the field, because threatening to score there, that was a tie game. That was saying staring them in the face. They just got turned around.
Casey Piper with the pick in the end zone, and it was a play where there were a couple of receivers in the vicinity. It was the wide receiver angling out towards the corner, and the ball just that little bit underthrown. And for Piper, he's able to go up and come up with a huge interception.
There was a line I heard watching the game this morning on TV. Too long can't go wrong, because your guy's the only guy who can get it, and he did not follow that advice there, dropping it short and getting a pick.
So now under 7 minutes to play, Sun 1st and 10 from their own 20. Here's a handoff up the middle. That one, I believe that was Rodriguez again on the carry. It was. And he'll get up close to the 25 on that first down rush.
It's just so pretty to watch. Like, is it natural? How does a guy learn to do that? These extra couple steps he puts in the backfield that just kind of change where the running lane is going to wind up being. And he'll sell 100% that he's going into the B gap, face his shoulders and his eyes there, give a couple pumps, and then just change direction into the A gap, and then it's open. It's so impressive.
Wyman drops back to pass a screen to Rodriguez. That one connects. He's up to the 30-yard line. Busts through a couple of tackles, and he's got some open space. Rodriguez across midfield down to the 40, still on his horse to the 35. And that's where they get locked down. A huge gain there for Robbie Rodriguez. Another screen pass. We saw a big play like that negated from a penalty earlier in the half. Not this time.
Yeah, Robbie's been doing great on those screens. They didn't miss connecting on one early where they just didn't get quite enough air under the ball and it went incomplete. And since then, they've had 2 or 3 go for pretty big chunks. 1 or 2 have been called back, but that one went for good, what, 30, 40 yards?
That was a 50-yard run there for Rodriguez. He's on 24 down to the 34-yard line here. Rodriguez on a handoff. Here, Wendman with the keep. He busts up the middle, spins past it, still on his feet. Wendman looking towards the end zone. He's got a block. Cuts wide, and he will kick it in for the score.
That was phenomenal. That was Nick Wendman missed the handoff, and the rule when you miss a handoff is the running back becomes the lead blocker and just run the same play. And Wendman looking like a scat speed back out there with a spin move and dodging guys in space. That was impressive running from a quarterback. And we got a flag on the play, so
I think that one came in right after the run.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a defensive player getting upset and our offensive player showboating. Something along those lines, I'm sure. I cannot get over how impressive that was for a quarterback run.
No kidding. Nick Wendman looked like he didn't miss a beat after that missed handoff, and
almost looked like it was designed that way. Like,
exactly.
We'll screw this handoff up, and then you can just lead block for me down the field.
Another look at it there. Rodriguez sells it well. He had a couple guys draped all over him. And yeah, like I said, the only coverage downfield was the safety who was covering the receiver, and a block there allowed Wendman to just take it to the house. So that one on Nate Anderson, I think, for celebrating after that. Tough to pick him out of the crowd that was leaping up and down on the Sun's sideline, but that's what it'll be. And so Wagner in to kick this extra point. Penalty to be applied on the kickoff here.
That's a third rushing touchdown by the Sun quarterback. What a strange game.
It sure has been. As Wagner puts this point up, and it is good. Instead, we're leading to 2 scores once again, 24-10 for the Sun. For Wendman, we've talked at points this afternoon about his struggles to find those quick receptions, those shorter receptions, but boy, he's bounced back in a way with now 3 rushing touchdowns for number 12. It's been a weird game today, but hey, the Sun will take it.
He needs to go buy Rodriguez something, lunch or a drink or something, because all of these handoffs are working, all these fake handoffs are working so well because Rodriguez has been tearing up this game. I have no idea what his yards are at now, but if he hasn't come close to matching his first half production, I'd be pretty surprised. And I think he was well over 100 in the first. So he's got to be. We got, what, 5 minutes left in this game? I would love to see a stat line at the end of this game that shows Robbie Rodriguez 250.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's funny because coming into today's game, his longest rush of the year was a 16-yarder. Yeah, he's blowing that out of the water by about 3 times and then some here this afternoon. So as mentioned, the 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff, though they've spotted at the 35, which is only 10 yards moved back from where it normally is. But here we go. Wedner to kick this one away. And he'll angle it to Clausen, who starts out near his own 30-yard line. Clausen cuts towards the middle of the field. He'll get wrapped up and brought down right away at the 30-yard line.
Trying to get a number on that, because that was a great open field tackle. And there's a Ram who is down again.
That Joel Clausen on the return there.
That's
looked like he was wrapped up by Brendan Ripko, yeah. A guy who's gotten exclusively special teams looks this season for the Sun, but a nice big tackle there. As trying to also identify that Ram who's coming off. That is, I think that's Kyle Claret. Yeah, I see a 21 out there.
Oh, that's too bad. He's at an active game out there. Hopefully he can feel better before their defense needs him again.
Sure has. Should mention too on the I mentioned his name for being injured a couple of times. Big Cody Cruz on the O-line. Saw him on the sideline with one cleat fully off, and he still is like that right now on his left foot. So a big body that's missing right now from that offensive line for the Rams. As back on offense is Langley, 5.5 to play. Laguerre drops back to pass, fires to the sideline. That one too far. Over the hands of his receiver. I think it was J.J. Jackson on the far side.
No even almost interceptions for Kitzman yet today. And right there, that one left hanging up. I almost would have liked to see him try to make a break on the ball rather than the man. Good way to get a shot in the ribs and make sure that's separated.
Of course, Kitzman with 6 interceptions already this season. One of those a pick 6.
Had a pick 6 called back as well earlier in the year, and for a while he was doing 1 a game, but I think he's fallen off, guys. Oh, offside, I think.
Pass up the middle, tipped but still caught.
What happened? They're calling incomplete, and that guy looks injured.
Incomplete call comes in as it was off the hands there of Joel Clausen. And I think it was Cleek Johnson who made the attempt on that ball. Diving, I thought he was able to come up with it, but you're right, incomplete was the call there. And so, boy, a tough play for Langley here in desperate need of a score, down by a couple. And
getting stuck going 3 and out. That's that Sun D is just too strong. Especially that catch was really needed there too. So big play to get a pop on that catcher before he hit the ground with it.
Cleek Johnson walked off to the sideline with the trainer and looks to be in some discomfort. So we'll watch him here as Wayne Palmer out to punt this one. It goes end over end back to the Sun 40. Going to be Simon Eyes on the return here once again. Goes one way now, the other gets tripped up at about the 45. Simon Eyes with a 5-yard return on that play. As he faked one way, tried to cut back across the field, but couldn't shed a tackler.
Yeah, he's a little upset with himself. He wants a big play, and I think he's still a little upset he had one called back for him. And early in the game, he had a chance at a huge pass that he just couldn't quite catch up to. I think that was losing that little hand fight battle. He couldn't quite get the release he needed for it. And he's hunting for a big play here before the end of this game.
1st and 10 here for the Sun. Ball on their own 45. Wemman the handoff here. This one to Abdi, who spins off a tackle and looks to gain maybe a yard or 2 there. And that's when it'll be 2nd and 8 off a gain of 2 from Abdi, Nazir Abdi.
A little surprised we haven't seen any of the other backs today.
Lenman now under pressure, gets the ball out. It is going to go too far downfield for Nate Anderson, however.
Great rush there by the Rams, just rushed him a little too much. A good 3 and out for the Rams defense, gives their offense another shot here before the end of this game.
Yeah, sure does. As that a crucial 3 and out there forced by the D. Block is going to be the enemy of Langley, though, now just down to 3:51 remaining in this game.
They definitely need to find a way to string a couple mid-range completions together, get some 15s off the board, get some 15-yard chunks. Oh, and we're calling.
So it looked like Langley called a timeout just before the snap on that one.
Had a man running on the field late, and I'm not sure if he was supposed to be or if they were man short or what was going on there.
Yeah, that was Cameron Cross running out there, and now in conversation with his coaches. Alden Barrios jogs over to the sideline to have a quick chat with special teams coordinator Jamie Borum there on the Sun sideline. Barrios, I'm not sure if I finished my story earlier, was at a basketball camp in Toronto this week, and the Sun did not think that they were going to be able to get him back here in Kelowna in time for this game. They were going to have to change a flight. It was going to cost a whole lot of money. He was able to get on a standby flight and get out here, and just was able to roll in this morning to the field for the Sun. So Barrios, who by all accounts was supposed to miss this game, comes up in a big way for the Sun here today. End over and punt out near the 30-yard line. Lund to the return. He's going to cut back still on his feet. A couple of flags coming out on this return as he will get up to about the 35. That's where forward progress is stopped and he's taken to the ground.
Yeah, that was definitely a clear block in the back. Sort of disappointing. He wanted to make that block. It didn't really need to.
Yeah, block in the back was the second flag that I saw. I think the first one was the no yards.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing when you're running when you're trying to block a guy and he's kind of got a half step on you, and any block you give to him is going to be a block in the back. The best move is you have to wait for his arm to get on the back swing. And if you can kind of can opener
right.
him, if you know the hockey term.
Right.
So you turn him enough that when he falls onto his back. Because anytime a guy's falling onto his stomach, the ref's going to see that as a block in the back. If you can make a guy turn so that when you get the hit and he falls backwards, that looks like a block in the front. Best way to avoid getting penalties, especially on special teams where those body relationships happen just constantly, where you're running beside one another and you don't want them to fall forward on your block.
And the way it falls out here is no yards against the Sun and then a block in the back against Langley. So there you go, net 5-yard penalty benefits the Rams there, moving the ball up just across the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 on their own 37. Back at quarterback, Stephen Laguerre. No back set as he looks to the sideline, pass complete there to Cleve Johnson. He gets taken out of bounds at about the 45. They'll be short of a first down by 2 yards by the looks of it here.
That was a good first down play, though.
I mean, you like the odds of Johnson being able to get a few yards after the catch there.
Yeah, that deeper hook, though, to Johnson was the pick that Barrios got earlier on in the game. There's a screen that is...
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown there. That one to Joe Carter.
When you're throwing the screen as a quarterback, you really just need to kind of float the ball up there, and you want it to just kind of hang in the air for your running back to run it underneath. If you try to throw it to the running back, often you'll miss by a half yard, and because you're throwing it with more velocity, there's no time to adjust to the back. And right there, yeah, just put a little too much muscle on it. for that 5-yard throw, and back couldn't adjust to the half-yard behind him.
And so there was a little bit of confusion there, as I think both teams thought kicking unit was coming on, but no, we're in 3-down territory here. Under center is the quarterback, Laguerre, with 3rd down and a couple, and false start as we call here.
Penalties in this game are just brutal.
Yeah. Here it comes. That's Nick Agnoletto, and boy, that's a back-breaking one, because from 3rd and 2, we roll now to 3rd and 7 off the procedure call there.
Yeah, it really cuts down the playbook, what you can do on the playbook on this next play.
Rams still in 3-down territory for sure here, with just 2:50 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Langley looking for that big 1st down play here to extend this drive.
There's our 3-minute warning.
So Laguerre working on the shotgun here. No back set, looking to pass. This one toward the sideline, going to be caught, but no, it's dropped by Agnoletto, who would have been close to a 1st down, but it's not going to get there as the ball popped out as he came into contact with the ground, and a huge turnover on downs here puts the Sun on offense.
That was a smart move by him, though. I think he dropped it because after he caught it, he tried to mid-fall contort himself to make sure that ball was going for that 1st down. And without that motion, I don't think he would have made it. But with that motion, it popped the ball out, just being a little too athletic. Oh, no, he lost it against his leg there.
But a good point, because he was twisting that way, and you're right. It wouldn't have mattered whether he was
complete or not.
Complete or not, if he's a half yard short. It's all the same there as the handoff from Wenman up the middle. That's a new running back in there, Kelton Curry, with the carry here late in the 4th quarter.
It's the first time we've said his name in a running back passing.
I think so. He's had some punt returns here for the Sun. And Wenman, quick conversation over the sideline. Like we say, a funny game at times for the quarterback of the Sun, but he has had 3 rushing touchdowns, compensated some short passes with huge running gains. There's a jump ball for Simon Eyes. Just dropped.
That was a great play out there. Whoa. Kieran Benedito, the great swat at the high point. Simon Eyes had both hands on it, squeezed it, perfect high point, won the jump ball, and just had the ball spiked out of his hands.
Well, for Benedito, he knows that he's not going to elevate to the same extent as Simon Eyes, but you're right, there's the smart play there, whereas he sees Simon Eyes coming down with the ball, then he gets the hand in, swats it away. Smart D there by the Rams.
That was a great play, especially when you're against such a mismatch problem where it's a guy who's not only taller than you, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't have the best vert on the field, too, or at least among them. The guy can get up.
Matt Panettone in to punt this away on 3rd down. Rolls out to his right and boots it out here towards the 10-yard line, where that's where it'll bounce inside the 5. Stays in bounds. What a great kick. And going to be forced out of bounds. He's lunged inside his own 10-yard line. Matt Panettone with a smooth punt there.
Yeah, that was a great coffin corner. Perfect placement. And that's the thing they rotate him for, though. He does that weirder rolling soccer kick, but it gives him, I think, a little bit more control on those mid-range precision punts. Whereas Wagner he lines up and just boots it straight down the field. And there he just needs as much distance as possible. Really 2 different styles.
They sure are, and we've seen Wagner take over for chunks of this game for sure, but Panettone with a nice one there. As the Sunshine finally makes an appearance with 2 minutes left here in the football game. 1st down play, pass toward the sideline. That one to be caught by Johnson.
Great play there, getting the catch and getting out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he faked like he was going to cut in and then went back out of bounds. Going to be a gain of about 5 yards there by the looks of things. Second down and as many to go here for the Rams, hemmed up in their own end of the field. Back here to pass out of the shotgun. That one was
just an ugly pass.
Yeah, not that close to the receiver. That was J.J. Jackson, who didn't even make a move on the ball, but ended up landing about 3 yards away from him there.
And we do have a punt team coming out. Real late to be punted up. 3rd and 5. I know they're real deep in their own end, but you're down by 2 touchdowns. You need a score here ASAP. And I don't know about this. Or I would watch very carefully for the fake.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something here? Is
pretty deep to be doing a fake, but yeah. I mean, if you're going to do one, this is the time to do it. Down by 2 scores late in the game, inside 3 minutes.
Palmer's lined up at his own goal line. Has Clausen in motion cutting out from behind him, and it is going to be a punt. This one out towards the 50-yard line, where it'll be caught there by Simonize. Cuts to the outside with a couple blocks in front of him. He's down to the 30-yard line, hits the pile, rolls out of bounds. Late flag comes in there after I think it was just a bit of a late shove out of bounds. Didn't look like anything too serious, but late flag coming in there for some more penalty yardage to be applied.
Yeah, lots of fabric on the field today. Wonder who that's even going against. If that's Simonize and the late extra shove on the stiff arm, or if that's somebody else getting a little shovey on the sidelines, or then the no yards penalty as well.
Yeah, unclear who that late penalty is going to be called on. Referee here to make an announcement now.
Was for that extra little shove on the stiff arm.
Simonize, who...
Remember Spencer Schmidt? I haven't seen him get that many targets today, but he's been on the field a lot. He's up there again right now.
Yeah, Schmidt, who had the one early reception back in the first quarter. Hasn't had a target since then. As Wenman lining up under center out in the I formation. Handoff here, Kelton Curry. Going to roll wide, cut back towards the middle of the field. Still rumbling out across the 40-yard line. And it looks like he'll gain about 5 on the carry here. Clock down to 1:31 left to go in this game. With the Sun trying to extend this possession to run the clock out here. So thinking back to week 3, where the Sun came away with a 34-17 win in Langley. Kind of a similar game here, where it was close for much of it, for about 3 quarters worth, before the Sun pulled away late. Handoff here, this one up the middle. That time, I believe that was Aiden Hennessy who was lined up with the fullback position. And it is. He gains enough there for a first down. Gain of about 6 yards for big number 35.
That was a good little quick hitter.
I believe that's the first carry for Hennessy as well. Getting into the game late here. Out of the eye. Go the Sun here. Going to be a handoff this time. Curry jukes back towards the middle of the field. Got past a bunch of tacklers down right on the 15-yard line.
That was a great reversal of field. Just start run. Start his stretch right. Just hit the brakes and find the back door on the left side. And I love that little that turn he did to cut up on the safety. Very much like Rodriguez has been doing a lot today. Just plant and turn and plant and turn.
Kelton Curry, who was a big part of the Sun offense, like I say, back in week 3. He picked up 2 touchdowns in that game, getting some late touches here in this one. Just 33 seconds left with Wenman on the handoff fake there. Finds Anderson at the 10-yard line, trying to bust between a couple players, dropped the ball, burns out of the goal line, and the Rams going to pick this one up, take it all the way back out to about the 16-yard line. A flag came out just as...
Sun are lucky he blew a tire on that, because I think he could have gone all the way house. flag on the play. I'm not sure what that's going to be for. Pass interference one way or the other.
Yeah, well, it was interesting, the timing, because it looked like it came out
at the fumble. Yeah, but
here's the play action you see from Wenman finding Anderson rather easily, and then as he kind of sandwiches between a couple of tacklers, fumbles the ball right near the goal line. It was Nathan Murray coming up with it.
Son got real lucky when his tackle worked because he barely got anything on him.
15-yard penalty on the Sun offense there.
I think that was on Simon Eyes too, but I have no idea what he did or even was around to do to get a penalty for it. Missed that entirely on both the live and the replay we got this week.
Sounded like the refs might cut out for a second there. He didn't give a signal, so I didn't hear exactly what the penalty was for, but nonetheless, 1st and 10 from the 33, back on offense for the Rams. Pass here to Jackson. He's going to get run back towards the 35. Forward progress will keep him at about the 37 or the 38. Going to be the 38-yard line there, 2nd down. 5-yard catch from J.J. Jackson. Just 14 seconds left in this ball game. With the Sun well en route to finishing the home half of the regular season in an undefeated way. Here's a pass over to the outside. That one is going to be caught by Johnson. He gets ripped over and brought down.
Tried to turn that into.
Yeah, he's trying to look for a bit of a reverse or a bit of a play to extend that one there, but didn't happen there, as that play will take us down to the final buzzer, and this game is over. The Okanagan Sun, it looks tense at moments here in this afternoon's game, where they pull away late and come away with a huge 24-10 victory over the Langley Rams.
The final weekend of the regular season, kickoff in 2 weeks.